Alex, obviously we're only a few days away from the massive pay-per-view here in Perth, a country that's been starved for fights since before the pandemic. You're obviously the face of this sport in this part of the world. So what are the emotions now that hard part's over with, you just got to make weight and then go fight Islam Makhachev?
Yeah, now the fun part. But it's good. Good to be back here, not only in Perth, obviously Australia. As I've been saying all week, all us Aussie fighters or from this region, Australia, New Zealand, we deserved an event over here. Not just us. Obviously, I deserve to fight in front of home crowd, defend a belt or fight for a belt, whatever it is. And then you've got the fans who deserve an event here and having their local fighters fighting here too.
And obviously the rest of the card is stacked with these Australian fighters too. Are a lot of them kind of viewing you as like the guy that will take this sport into the next level here in Australia now that they can come back after the pandemic?
Oh man, it's obviously good for them to, I'm sure they all believe in their skills. They've seen it, yeah. They've seen us go to the top. They've seen us get the belts. But I mean, that's what obviously Robert did that as well. So they got to see that, which is always going to be motivating. And this can be done. Even from a small gym or wherever you are. But now we're obviously going champ and going real big and pound for pound and all that. So I guess we are showing these guys coming up, or even the younger generation, that not only be a champion, not only do well in the UFC, you can be the best. You know what I mean? The pound for pound number one, champ, all that type of stuff. So I think we are setting a good example. So that's good.
You mentioned the pound for pound thing. You're number one, he's number two. Do you view him as the true number two pound for pound fighter in the world, or is it just something the voters gave him that? Do you view him as the second best fighter in the world?
Oh man, again, this isn't up to us. You know what I mean? People are going to ask me, if you go and take him out, you're going to be the greatest ever and all that type of stuff. That's not up to us. You know what I mean? Do I think I had a harder path to pound for pound and all that? Yeah, look at my resume. But do I believe he is as good as a number one pound for pound? Yeah. Or number two pound for pound? Yeah, for sure. I believe he definitely deserves to be up here. He's a great fighter. So, again, you probably look at the resume, still a good resume, but it's probably not as good and as deep as some of ours. But at the same time, when it comes to skill, he's definitely right up there.
Michael Chandler was breaking this fight down, and he said that Islam is just brilliant at the basics. He does nothing wrong. He doesn't do anything flashy. Everything is just perfect. Did you agree with that statement when watching tape on him? Yeah,
well, he doesn't take unnecessary risks. That's the proper way of doing it. He does. We all know what they're good at and what they want to do. They're calculated in that sense. A lot of people. Obviously you're seeing some people saying that he can strike. It's underrated, but then you're seeing a lot of people that say. It's not good, but I mean, it is calculated. That's something that he does very well. He doesn't overcommit too much. He does sometimes, but he doesn't. He will fight on the back foot and wait for the right time to shoot and things like that. His distance game isn't too bad. So little things like that he does well. Like I said, he's calculated. What exactly did Chandler say? He was saying
brilliant at the basics.
At the basics. Yeah. I guess so, but. I don't know about that. I think he's just more calculated. That's probably an unnecessary risk. I think that's what he's probably better at.
Do you feel a sense that you need to represent Australian wrestling against him, considering everything he said about how Aussies don't have wrestling?
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Coming to my country and say we don't have wrestling? Yeah, all right. Well, I'm going to have to do something about that.
So how do you see the fight?
We're shooting doubles from the get-go.
So how do you see this fight playing out? He says once you feel his power, he is very confident he can knock you out in that octagon.
I just told you he's a very calculated fighter. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. Him coming looking for a knockout, that's an unnecessary risk. He won't be doing that.
And final one for me, what do you make of the UFC announcing that Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler will be the coaches of the Ultimate Fighter this year?
Yeah, I think it's good. Obviously, it's always good to have Conor coming back to the sport. Brings a lot of eyes here, It's and that'll be a fun fight as well. You know what I mean? And it's I think it's clever for both of them. Clever for Conor because he can go and fight, and that's they're both powerful dudes. Obviously, it's a winnable fight because they're just going to go for it. So it's going to be entertaining. But I mean, that just puts Conor right back in the conversations, for the belt and all that type of stuff. And for people to say, he wouldn't deserve it and there's no way they're going to do that, you're pretty crazy, right? It's Conor McGregor, and if he takes out someone like a Chandler, you know his name's going to be mentioned. You know people are going to be talking about him. So it's interesting. It's good to look at because I plan on taking that lightweight belt, and I'm looking at seeing what's happening in the division. There's a lot of potential matchups after this one, but obviously first I've got to worry about what's in front of me.
You also said you do plan on going back to featherweight and fighting the winner of the co-main event. How do you see that fight playing out?
I'm 50-50 on it. I think they're obviously both great fighters, and it just depends who turns up on the night with the right game plan. I think, again, I'm 50-50 on it. I don't know. So I might know from 1 minute in the fight, but obviously I think it's going to be a fun fight, you know what I mean? And good. I'm just glad it's happening. It's going to give me a pretty clear guy who's next. So when I go back down, so it's good because I want to be active, right? So line these next guys up for me because I want to have a very busy year.